Welcome to the IESF 12th Esports World Championship announcement broadcast. My name is Hadass Hart, and I'll be your host for today as we unveil all that's waiting for us in this year's exciting edition. To kick this broadcast off, let's watch the announcement made back in December 2019.
All life on Earth, dominated by one species that combines two extraordinary abilities: imagination and fingers. So now we're ready to play 12th Esports World Championship. The final stage.
For those joining us for the first time, this is the 12th edition of the Esports World Championship, the international esports competition featuring national teams. With us today is Eilat, head of the event's local organizing committee and president of the Israeli Esports Association. So tell us a bit about the IESF. How did it all start?
Well, the IESF stands for International Esports Federation. It started back in 2009, where 9 countries, 6 from Europe and 3 from Asia, gathered in Korea to establish this organization with the goal to promote esports as a recognized true sport on the global scale. One of the key projects of the IESF is the IESF World Championship, which we host this year in Eilat, Israel, that gathers really the best and brightest of each nation's players to determine whose nation will win the national trophy and the national cup of that year.
What's IESF vision for the World Championship?
The vision is to create a World Championship that is dedicated to national competitiveness. That means that each nation send their own national team composed of national players, and those players participate in various tournaments and competitions in a lot of game titles under the national flag and banner. So it's more like the Olympic style event in terms that each nation receives medals for the achievements of the players, as well as scoring to determine who is the overall winner, the number 1 nation of that year in that World Championship.
Tell us about the Israeli esports scene. How has it developed to the point that it's hosting such an event?
So the Israeli Esports Association was established in 2010, but esports was existent and popular in Israel at least since 2004, with LAN parties and events, large-scale events gathering thousands of players taking place in Israel throughout those years. The goal with the Israeli Esports Association is to unite all the players in Israel under one banner and promote esports as an accredited sport in Israel. One of the key values that we have in IESA is to also be prominent in the international scene. And that is done to achieve 2 goals. One is to create a really significant Israeli presence in the international scene and become a hub for international esports. And the other goal is to get the international esports standards to Israeli competitions. This year, we found the right partners at Maccabiah World Union, the Israeli government, and the city of Eilat to host one of the largest esports events in the world, the IESF Esports World Championship. And the 12th Esports World Championship is coming to Israel this November in Eilat, and we are sure very excited for it.
All right, before you leave, let's start off with our first reveal today, the official IESF 2020 World Championship logo. Eilat, what inspired it?
So the logo was created by our amazing and truly talented designer and artist Itai Blaish, who also designs the logo for the Maccabiah World Games. It is the message with the logo that we wanted to send is something that is very modern, very vibrant, very fast, speedy, ready to engage, ready to battle, ready to compete. And at the same time, it also features a little bit of the mountains of the host city, Eilat. Looks like a little bit of a controller or a spaceship, but mostly it's about being one step away from competition, from the finals, from the winning trophy. Ready to engage, ready to battle. So that's what we wanted to go through, and that's the message we wanted to send with this logo.
Idol Bosch, thank you so much for joining us. Israel is a unique country and the center of Jewish culture worldwide. We're known as the startup nation, where entrepreneurs work side by side with the largest tech companies in the world to push science and technology, from cybersecurity to AI and even agriculture. But that's not all. Did you know Israel is home to one of the world's largest sporting events? Joining us in the studio is Roy Hessing, CEO of the Maccabiah. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
For the worldwide viewers, what is the Maccabiah?
The Maccabiah is the third largest sport event in the world after the Olympic Games and the University Games. That's actually the Jewish Olympics, held every 4 years in Israel. The next one will be in 2021. And we are going to host here in Israel 10,000 participants from 80 countries in more than 43 sports. Israel is very excited about it every 4 years since 1932.
Wow.
And we look forward to host all the participants from around the world.
So, gaming, a new and exciting field to play on. When did you realize you have to look into it?
Actually, it all started when we heard that the International Olympic Committee is looking for having an exhibition games, esports, just before Tokyo Olympics. And usually we're thinking that what is good for the Olympic Games, it will be a great benefit for us as the Maccabiah. I was the one who contacted the Israeli Esports Association, and we decided together to have an exhibition esports competition during the Maccabiah. And on the way to the Maccabiah, all of a sudden we found ourselves sending a bid in order to host here in Israel the World Championship. And I would like to take this opportunity and to thank the IESF, which is the International Esports Association, as well as the Israeli government and Eilat municipality, who gave us the honor to host the 12th World Championship Esport in Israel, November 2020.
Getting into esports is a big move. Are you planning more in the future?
Yeah, so after the World Championship, which I know and I'm sure that it will be the biggest and the best ever, we will look into the esports and in the Maccabi world. We will have the exhibition during the Maccabiah, and I'm sure that it will open our doors to new partners as well as new participants. And I think that it will make the Maccabiah relevant for the youth generation in order to try to bring those that are not part of the real sport, but they are playing the esport, to come to Israel and to enjoy Israel and to meet all their friends from around the world.
Is esport already recognized as a sport in Israel?
Not yet, but I think that it's going to be the first step before being recognized as a regular sport in Israel. We are in a really good connection with the Culture and Sport Ministry in Israel. They are part of the organization or of the organizing committee for the World Championship. And I'm sure that during November 2020, after the Games, we will have some good news for the gamers in Israel.
Thank you so much, Roy Hessing. I bet you're all excited to know what game titles are going to be played this year, but first, we really need you to understand what a treat it is to have the city of Eilat host this event.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. Put your luggage in the cabin above your heads and fasten your
Have a good visibility today, guys. Hi. Please check your gear and
Eli Langri, Deputy Mayor of Eilat, is joining us today. How are you doing, Eli?
I feel wonderful and everything is fine with me. I am very excited about hosting this very important event in November. And I must say that I feel this excitement also in the city, especially with our young residents.
Tell us a bit about the city. What can our visitors expect on their stay?
Well, first of all, Eilat is a beautiful city with amazing views, with a bay that is one of the most beautiful bays in the world, red mountains, fascinating desert, amazing attractions, rich culture, and especially very warm and wonderful people.
Should they bring swimsuits?
Well, I would say that the swimsuit should be one of the most important and one of the first things to put in the suitcase, although the event is in November in the winter time.
How did Eilat come to host such a grand gaming event?
First of all, Eilat is the leading tourist city in Israel. And in the recent years, Eilat has become also a sports city, international sports city that hosts dozens of important tournaments and competitions, European Championship, World Championship. And when Israel was a candidate to host this championship, Eilat has become the leading candidate to be the host city.
It's also pretty easy to get to Eilat nowadays, isn't it?
Definitely. Eilat has a large and new international airport just few miles from the city, with dozens of direct flights from many destinations in Europe.
Thank you, Eli Langri. Looking forward to visiting the lovely city of Eilat.
Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to see you here in next November in our beautiful city.
Eilat is in the cozy 25 degrees most times in November, so if you're a visitor, don't forget to come prepared for the beach. While it's hot outside, the Esports World Championship will be held in the coolest of venues, the iSmall Arena. This arena is at the center of the newest shopping center in Eilat, built like a giant igloo. The mega center houses so many stores, from top chains to fashion, and a great selection of restaurants. The most wacky thing about it are the activities. This mall features bungees, wall climbing, roller coasters, and a real ice skating ring. That's a good thing, as we need all that space to construct the IESF Esports World Championship competition area and an impressive main stage. So play carefully, you're treading on ice. While we surely can expect an amazing visit to Eilat, it's now time to reveal what we've all been waiting for, the big question every year right after the host city, the game titles of this year's IESF World Championships. Our first game is a fan favorite, one of the most popular titles in the IESF and in the world. It's fast, it's a single-player esports, and you know what? Why don't we just show you instead? Tekken makes a return. This long-standing franchise has been picked up in the early days of the IESF in 2012. The Tekken series provided the official fighting game title for most championships up until today. As one of the most respected and oldest genres in esports, fighting games has made all the adjustments needed to get from arcade tournaments to the largest stage in the world. Joining us to discuss this game is one of the Shoutcasters who've seen it all go down before, Rapid. Rapid, how are you doing?
Hello. It's very cold and very early in the morning here in Seoul, South Korea, but I'm excited. It's been a good day.
Excited to kickstart another year of IESF championships?
I am so excited for another year of IESF. You know, every year there's new stories and new players and new upsets, and I don't think this year is going to be any different. So I cannot wait for IESF 2020 this year.
Tell me, what makes Tekken so exciting to watch?
You know, Tekken 7 is an amazing esports title. It's so much fun to watch, very easy to understand. When a player does something really exciting, it's so hype. And every year, some of the best Tekken 7 players in the world all compete in IESF, and that just makes it such a high skill level. So you're always watching the best of the best go head-to-head to represent their country in Tekken 7.
We can expect fierce competition in Tekken. Which countries are the favorites?
There's so many strong countries in Tekken. This last year we had Ni from South Korea take the championship, and we also had Anakin from America do very, very well. I think over the past year we've seen Pakistan become an incredibly strong nation in Tekken, so hopefully we'll see them compete, and really all of Europe has really stepped up their game. It's basically impossible to tell who's going to win in 2020. I would say my money's on South Korea, not just because I live here, but also just because they are an incredibly strong nation for Tekken. We could also see Japan do extremely well, so it's going to be an exciting year of Tekken 7, the IESF World Championships in 2020.
All right, Rapid, thank you for joining us. Let's move on to the next title. Our next title also makes an exciting return from last year. It's a sports title, so let's keep this ball rolling.
¿Jugar para creer? Playing is believing?
Okay, I'm interested.
Let's do that. Vamos.
It's eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer. This year's definitive edition brings many new features and a welcome addition to the IESF official game titles for the second year in a row. And last but not least, in its original form, it's an ancient game, and ancients must be defended. Defense of the Ancients, Dota 2 will be an official title this year. This year will mark the third time Dota is an official game title. Did someone say cheese? Dota is one of the most watched and played online games, and it's making its return this year to top of our reveals for today, but that's not all. More game titles will be announced in the upcoming months, so don't forget to keep up to date with all the IESF updates by following the Federation's social media. This concludes our very first live stream for this year's edition of the IESF Esports World Championship. We hope you enjoyed as well as we did, and we'll see you all, players, officials, and viewers alike in November in the Oasis Paradise of Eilat, Israel.